Record high inflation, gas prices that continue to climb, all on the minds of voters as they head to the polls for primaries nationwide today, 7 states particularly. And President Biden, however, taking a victory lap, tweeting out this, quote, "At the time I took office about 16 months ago, the economy had stalled and COVID was out of control. Today, thanks to the economic plan and the vaccination plan that my administration put into action, America has achieved the most robust recovery in modern history." Joining us now to discuss, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for coming back on National Report. Absolutely. I want to jump back into that tweet from the president there. A lot of folks harping on that one on social media and the cable news networks here. President Biden touting a robust economic recovery. Your thoughts on that?
Well, you can look at my Twitter feed and talk to Tennesseans, and they're just going, what? They want him to explain this because inflation is up. The price of a gallon of gas at the pump has more than doubled since he took office. What you're seeing is higher prices at the grocery store. This business of saying, oh, inflation is only 8.5%. People are saying, you got to be kidding me. You know, when coffee's up 143%, milk is up, eggs are up, bacon is up, hamburger meat is up. The cost of clothing, polymers, all that comes from hydrocarbons, those are up. The cost of a pair of tennis shoes, running shoes, equipment for kids for sports, the cost of fertilizer, everything is through the roof. And Joe Biden wants to tell you and have you believe that you are better off today than you were when he took office. This is just like craziness, and the American people know this, and they're very frustrated. They are in a very somber mood. They're very serious. They're very worried. When you're a farmer in West Tennessee and your fertilizer cost has gone up 300%, and the cost of pesticides has more than doubled, and the cost of diesel has doubled, and you're trying to plant cotton or soy or row crops, and you're going, I don't know if I can afford to put the crop in the ground. This is a problem. You're talking about livelihoods.
I want to jump into what you pointed out is what is on the minds of Americans as they do head to the polls here. There is a polling from Ipsos ABC News talking about this, saying 61% showing disapprove of Biden's handling of the economic recovery. Despite that tweet, by the way, 71% disapprove on inflation, 72% on his handling of the gas prices there. Again, that is the most recent polling about 3 days ago. Clearly, Americans, voters, according to this poll, are not happy with the way this White House is handling the economy, specifically their inflation and gas prices. In Tennessee, the average is $4.57 roughly from AAA, a little lower than the national average, which is $4 and almost 92 cents here. Senator, when this White House looks at this information, this polling, you would think the messaging might change. However, again, Biden's still touting how strong it is. Do you see any pivot for this administration on gas prices or the economy moving into the midterms? I mean, how do you win at the polls when you're losing in polling?
You know, I think they've already decided that they're going to lose. They know this. They can read the polling. But the steps that they have taken to go in here and put government control of the economy, this is very intentional. They want a government-run industrial policy. They want to control energy. They want to control the economy. Look at what they're doing around solar panels. These show you that they are trying to have that Soviet style, socialist style government industrial policy. So you have to look at this and say, okay, these steps have to be intentional, constantly telling you that what you are seeing and hearing and experiencing is not accurate, but what they're saying is accurate. And they are trying to force feed the American people their agenda. They want $5 a gallon gas. They want to move everybody to electric vehicles, even if you can't afford an electric vehicle.
Right.
So these are all concerns of the American people. They have figured this out, that it is not missteps, even though the president misspeaks a lot. It is not missteps, that these are intentional steps.
I got to ask you about January 6th. This committee is going to hold a hearing, and it is going to be aired in prime time this Thursday. I believe ABC News already confirmed they're going to break into their nightly programming to air it. CBS, I believe, will as well. You can imagine other cable news networks doing the same. Unprecedented, hasn't happened before. Do you have thoughts on this, of this committee holding their hearing and all of the major mainstream media outlets picking this up, airing this out to millions of Americans? This will happen again Thursday evening, I believe, at 8 p.m. Your thoughts, Senator?
And one of the things that we should keep in mind is that the Democrats are trying to elevate this. Now, they just want to put things that would be anti-President Trump. They don't want to look at the email traffic, the text messages, the phone call records around Speaker Pelosi. So they are choosing not to take a holistic review.
Will you be watching these hearings?
No, I will be working Thursday night. We'll be heading back to Tennessee, have some meetings on the books, look forward to seeing a lot of good Tennesseans. And they're talking about inflation, crime, the open southern border, and how that affects crime, how it affects drugs in the streets, how it incentivizes the human traffickers, the sex traffickers, the gangs, the drug traffickers, and their concern for what they're seeing in their communities and on the streets. Concerns
on that polling did not see Jan 6 on there. Again, as you're pointing out, inflation, gas prices, et cetera. Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee joining us live on the program. Senator, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.